What's going on, Gifted Hands family? We're bringing you another lesson, and today we're going to be talking about scales. We're talking about 3 essential scales that I believe all gospel musicians should know, should have mastered. You should know these all the way across the piano in every key, all right? And these are not basic major and minor scales. That's like understood. You should start off with major and minor scales. So we're past that. These are not like pentatonic scales. Those are basic. You should know these. These are things like after you've learned the fundamentals, meaning all your major scales, melodic, harmonic, or like your basic, I'll say natural minor scale, and then like your pentatonic scales, major and minor pentatonic. After you learn that stuff, and you kind of want to start having some musical freedom to improvise and play some more interesting licks and lines and fills and stuff like that, this is where you start, all right? So let's dive into it. So scale number 1 is going to be the Lydian scale, all right? I'm gonna play all this stuff in C to make it easy for you, all right? So Lydian scale, the Lydian mode, it's super simple. I'll play it. This is it. This is the Lydian scale or the Lydian mode. All right, so with the Lydian scale, pretty much it's almost the same thing as a basic major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Instead of the 4 though, we're gonna play a sharp 4. So you're gonna play a raised 4th, a sharp 4, and that's gonna give you your Lydian mode or your Lydian scale, okay? So, this can pretty much be used over any major chord. So like, I love to use this when we're ending a song. One of his spirit, washed in his blood. Right, that's like Blessed Assurance. So if you're ending the song, washed in his blood. Oops. Right? So you hear jazzy stuff like that played, that's the Lydian scale. It's a major scale pretty much, but we're just adding 1 extra note. So Lydian scale is good to know. It's technically the 4th mode of the major scale. So like if I'm playing C Lydian, really that's a G major scale, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I'm playing a G major scale, starting on the 4th note though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. All right, so that is the first scale. It's gonna be the Lydian scale. All right, the second scale that you need to learn as a gospel musician is going to be the Mixolydian scale, okay? And so the Mixolydian scale is different than the Lydian scale. This is going to be, I'm gonna play it on C, I'm gonna play C Mixolydian. Just like the Lydian scale, this is gonna be very similar to the major scale. This is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not major 7. Instead of a major 7th, it's gonna have a flatted 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flatted 7. So Mixolydian scales are partnered with, you guessed it, a dominant chord. All right, so yeah, anytime you see a dominant chord in gospel, which are all over the place, right? Once you really start playing gospel, whether you are playing hymns or congregational tunes, you play dominant chords all over the place. You're playing dominant chords a lot in gospel, right? So anytime you see a dominant chord, you can partner that up with the Mixolydian scale. Okay? So like, I don't even know, like any hymn, congregational song, I was just playing Blessed Assurance, so let's stick with that. So with Blessed Assurance, there's dominant chords all over the place, right? We have Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine. So when we're playing the 3 chord, we play that as a dominant chord to pass us to the 6, right? If we're playing E dominant, we can play E Mixolydian to go with that scale. So, blessed assurance. Or, right, we can play that E Mixolydian. And then go into the next chord. Oh, what a foretaste. And then even we're playing a D dominant chord. We can play D Mixolydian with that D dominant chord. And so when it comes to the Mixolydian mode, the Mixolydian scale, you don't even have to think about it in terms of like, I gotta play a run or I gotta play a lick. A lot of times when we're looking at scales, we can pull chords or we can even pull like harmonic movements from scales. So we don't just have to think runs and licks and lines. Let's just use that 3 chord again. It's a movement, like a simple movement like that. That's using thirds, right? Intervals of thirds. But I need to know what scale I'm pulling my intervals from. So it's like, how do I know when I play a major third versus a minor third? Like in this instance, I'm thinking in terms of E Mixolydian. I know, okay, here's my notes. So I'm pretty much gonna skip a note, have a note in between, and I'm just gonna walk up the scale. And you can create movements like that, little passing movements. All right, so that is scale number 2, is the Mixolydian scale. All right, and the third and final scale that we're gonna talk about today is going to be the melodic minor scale. So this one I think is like one of the most versatile scales out that there is. Still like just finding new ways to use this melodic minor scale. So melodic minor is this. What we have is 1, 2, minor third, 4, major 5, well, of course it's major 5, major 6, major 7, root. That's our melodic minor. So it's pretty much almost a major scale with just a minor third instead. So play a C major or whatever major scale and then flat the third and you got a melodic minor scale, all right? Or if you wanna think of it in terms of like a natural minor scale, if you're starting with a natural minor scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minor 6, minor 7, the melodic minor is gonna have actually a major 6 and a major 7, okay? So that is a melodic minor scale. There's tons and tons of uses for it. We'll cover a couple real quick. One of the main uses is gonna be, especially in a gospel context, I think 2 that I hear the most is going to be on the 4. So first song that comes to mind is Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. So a lot of times in a song you'll hear 4 chord, but it's at like a minor 6. So even there's a Ty Galbraith song out. You've been so good. You've been so good. You've been so good to me. All right, so that song starts off just kind of like on the 1. Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. You've been perfect example. You've been better than good. I can't praise you enough. Up. Right? Something like that. So in that song, they, instead of going to like a regular 4, you are good, you've been so good. We play the 4 chord as a minor 6. So anytime you hear a minor 6 in gospel, you can partner that up with the melodic minor scale, with the corresponding root note. So I'm playing an F minor 6 chord. I can play a F melodic minor scale to match up with that, right? So, Lord, you are good. You've been so good. Lord, you are good. something like that, right? Or just like we said, we can harmonize a scale pretty much, and we could do. So instead of playing a single note line, we can, you've been better than good. I'm following the melody, but I'm gonna harmonize it. Or we can do that, or something like that, or that. Okay? So you can use a melodic minor scale to come up with lines over a minor 6 chord. You can use it on a minor major 7th chord. Why? Because if I'm looking at this chord, I have a minor triad, but I have a major 7th. So what scale lines up with that? The melodic minor, because it has a major 7th. Or I mean, you could also play a harmonic minor, but that's not what we're talking about here today, right? So you got that, and then the other way that this is used is going to be over dominant chords. So you can use a melodic minor over dominant chords. So let's say we got the 5, and we're churching. Maybe you want some lines or licks to play over the 5 chord, but it's not basic dominant. When you have an altered 5, you can't play a Mixolydian scale. It's not gonna work, right? Because the Mixolydian scale has all white notes. Like G Mixolydian has all white notes. So if I'm playing this chord, that doesn't sound good. There's notes that clash. So we want to play an altered scale. And the way you do that is, if I have a G dominant chord, I can play a melodic minor scale that's a half step above my root note. So we're playing G altered here, right? I can play an A flat melodic minor. So. All right, so G altered, or just move it up. A flat melodic minor is the same exact scale, right? So anytime you want to play like an altered scale on a dominant chord, go to your dominant, go up a half step. All right. And those are the 3 scales, 3 essential gospel scales that you need to learn if you're a gospel musician, or if you just want to add this sound to your playing. Learn these 3 scales and you'll be a little bit closer to your goals, all right? See you in the next lesson.